Hi, good morning. This is Sue from Snake River Stamping. Thank you for joining me. As I told you yesterday on my live, I am going to be doing some pre-recorded videos the rest of this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All of them will be some fun folds, mostly Christmas themed, but I might throw some fall stuff in there too because I'm getting some new things in the mail in a day or two. So who knows what might happen. But I just had so many ideas and so many things I wanted to share with you. I wanted to make some short videos where I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of, um, all the advertisements and announcements, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be making some cards, and it'll be shorter and hopefully sweeter, and you will get some very quick ideas. So today, Tuesday, is going to be our first one. And I'm just going to review real quick what we did yesterday on my live. We did this beautiful shaded spruce. What an unusual color, right? For a snowflake card, but it's very elegant and it's not hard to do. So if you missed that video, jump back either on my Facebook business page or my YouTube to yesterday, which was Monday, September 15th, and take a look at this card. I have all the measurements for you and everything. I think you'll really like it. Today, we're going to do something called a chair rail card. And it's called a chair rail because in some older homes, they have chair rails around the walls where it's divided with a wainscoting or something, and they'll maybe have painting at the top and wallpaper at the bottom, or vice versa. Anyway, so it kind of reminds you about that. And so the card we're going to do today is going to be similar to this one, and I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks on how to help it turn out. It's really an easy card. The paper that we're going to use today is available. It's in the annual catalog. It's called Seasons of Elegance, and it is truly elegant. It's got all this, you've got the red, the cherry cobbler, the mossy meadow, and the old olive. You've got the Lost Lagoon, or pretty. No, this is Pretty Peacock, and you've got basic beige, and then they all have gold accents in them, which it really lends itself to the kind of card I want to do today. Then on the other side, they have something a little plainer, no more gold, but something that you can use for backgrounds. And you can see how beautiful that is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get started right away here today. And I sincerely hope I have everything cut because I've never done this before. I've never done 5 days of cards in a row. So I will put the measurements up at the very end if you would like that. But we're starting out with a Mossy Meadow card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And that's just your basic A2 card base here in the United States. Then my first layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go right on the front for my first layer. And this is basic beige, and then I have another basic beige, 3 3/4 by 5, which is going to go on the inside. And I'm going to set that to the side so I don't mix these up. And then I cut 2 pieces here for my chair rail card. My top is 3 3/4 by 3. And then my bottom is 3 3/4 by 2. So those put together, 3 plus 2, of course, is 5. And what works best, now some people, I've watched them do this card, and they just glue them right on here onto this first layer, which is what we're going to glue it onto. And they get all their margins even, and they're really good at that. I'm not that good at that. Yeah, to be really honest with you, 9 years ago, I had a big medical thing going on. Anyway, one of the things that happened to me is I had 2 strokes, and that's why I took up card making. to be honest. My friend told me, because I totally lost my ability to do math. I could not do math to save my life. And she said, well, she was a card maker, and she got me into card making, and I found out I loved it. And my first cards were the most horrendous things you've ever seen in your life. And anyway, over these past 9 years, I have gotten a little bit better at making cards, and it's really helped me rehabilitate from the medical things that went on with the strokes and everything else that happened at that time. So I am very grateful, A, to be alive, and to be able to make cards with you now. And I kind of wish I wouldn't have thrown my first cards away. I taped those two. Did you see what I did? I put them together, I matched them up, and I just used a piece of Scotch tape because I want my piece all in one piece, just like this. See, this is one of the problems I have, is seeing things evenly. So I want to do this and get it even on here so I can get it evenly. I should tape that so it doesn't move, right? That would be probably brilliant. A little bit of tape up here. Okay. So that's, I've got this scored, and my bone folder. There it is. There's one of them. I got two. Just gonna burnish this so it will stay down. And that's gonna go on here. And I'm gonna think about whether I want to pop that up. But this is my chair rail, and I cut my chair rail itself. It's also 3 3/4 inches wide by 3/8 inches tall this way, and it's going to go right here, fits exactly, and that's what it's supposed to do. I should probably use this so I don't get glue all over my paper. And I'm going to put my chair rail on. And I do have some other examples for you today that I'm going to share with you. So you just put a chair rail on the card, just like that. So I am going to make this pretty simple. I'm going to use a little bit of this this ribbon. It's just gorgeous. It's an open weave, gold open weave ribbon, and I do have it linked in my description, so you can find that. And I'm going to kind of decide how I want to do this, because on this card I used a solid ribbon, and I do have another solid ribbon it's not basic beige, but it's a vanilla that I could do this kind of a little loopy thing with. But I kind of like this gold. I was going to just take a look at that. You need about 8 inches or so of ribbon, more or less. You know, with ribbon, it's not always an exact thing. I don't know if this will do it, or if I'm going to have to put it flat. No, not sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put it flat. I think I am. So what I'm going to do, I haven't put this down yet, so good thing, right? So I'm going to put this over towards the edge, and it's plenty long, but I don't have to go all the way around my card with this. I'm just using my approximately 8 inches of open weave ribbon as a little decorating tool, and I'm just taping it on the back, so it just adds a little bit of texture and visual interest to my card. And then I have to have a scrap of basic beige, and I am going to use traditional labels, and I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use this die from this set. And Merry Christmas is 2 words in the set, and it actually works better this way. I always, because of my inability to stamp straight and stuff like that. Oh, that's great. Okay. I stamp first and cut second, because then I can straighten up what I have a little easier. And I'm going to make my Christmas kind of overlap my Merry a little bit. Okay. Just like that. I got my Merry Christmas. Okay. And I did that in Mossy Meadow, which goes with my Mossy Meadow over here. And then I will take my die and run it through my cut and emboss machine, and through the magic of television here, I believe I already have one. There it is, found it. I already have one cut for us. So I do think I'm going to put this on dimensionals. And just gonna stick some on the corners. Here. I'm not going to put them in the middle because I'm going to have my sentiment in the middle, and that's going to be on dimensionals too. So make sure I've got that the way I want it. And pretty good. So I'm going to put this on dimensionals, and I'm going to add maybe a few gems here. Pulled a few things that are probably out of stock, because you know I keep things forever and ever. So I'm just I'm using this little point here to kind of line it up at the top of the chair rail gold piece, like right there. And I pulled out, I have some gold sequins, but I think I have a lot of gold on there. And I also have these green dots. And I thought this was open, but maybe it is not open. Okay. When I open mine, I cut up the side. It's a lot easier to get things in and out when I cut up the side. And sometimes you can get them out, sometimes you can't. I just need to get that little, this little paper out. Oh, I do kind of like the green ones, yeah. So I think I'll put, be sure and slide them off. You can use scissors, a take your pick tool, you know, whatever you want. But slide them off so that the sticky stuff stays on there. And I'm just going to randomly place these around. I think I'll put one over here. Okay. So that's a chair rail card. Just really quick, simple. You can make a lot of these. You can batch them. You can cut everything ahead of time and put them together. Now I do have my basic beige for the inside, and once again I would pick some, like Just For You. I would pick that one. That I like that one. And where's my favorite? Here it is. This one's my favorite to stamp with because I can hang on to it a little bit better. So I'm going to just set this here. And I'm going to put my measurements up for you. Almost done. Yep. Just For You. Okay, perfect. And I put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back. Just takes a couple little pieces inside. I have, I didn't get them out, but I have like tree stamps, Christmas tree stamps. You know, that would look cute in here to put maybe down at the edge, or do the stamping off technique where you stamp full strength, stamp it off, and then the second generation very lightly behind the Just For You. That would look really cute. Anyway, that is a chair rail card. Okay, so measurements. Ooh, I'm doing good, 16 minutes. Here are the measurements. You can take a screenshot of that. And you know what? This is so funny. I was having trouble doing screenshots and everything, and then I read how to take a screenshot because I thought, I'm not doing this right. This is working sometimes and not all the time. Anyway, all I have to say on my phone is, hey Google, take a screenshot, and it takes a screenshot, and that's as hard as it is. And I'm sure that most phones are the same way. You can just say, hey Siri, or whatever it is you say. So here's a chair rail card. This is a chair rail card using some newer paper and things. This is a chair rail card. This is a chair rail card using some retired product from last year. That turned out really kind of cute. And then the one that I showed you earlier today using the ribbon behind it. That kind. You know, you have some kind of focal point. Usually you can make it very simple like I did this one. I have Merry on the outside, Christmas on the inside. This one was Merry and Bright. And I put lots of little snowflake corners on there, on that one. On this blue one, I put Merry Christmas. And this was, again, from a stamp set I had last year that I did that. And so these are all the chair rail cards. So I just, remember, I picked my designer series paper first, and then I picked the colors that are going to go with it. And so because I did Season of Elegance, which is still available, it's in our catalog, our annual catalog, and I linked it below if you like that. I think it just makes beautiful cards. Anyway, it's pattern 1 and pattern 2, because one's 3 inches and one's 2 inches, and they're both 3 3/4 inches wide. You can put some ribbon on it. You can put some little embellishments on it. You can even emboss it, which would be great. Anyway, so I put Mossy Meadow, gold foil sheets was the divider rail. You can also put a Mossy Meadow divider rail if you want. And I'm a gold girl, so I put a gold one. And then the basic beige was the first layer, the inside, and then scraps for the sentiment type of thing. So anyway, that's our quick card for Tuesday. I hope you like it. I've got a card for you every day this week. I hope you'll come back. They're all different folds and different papers, and I think you'll find them really interesting. So I would like to thank you for sticking with me. And we're under 20 minutes, so that was my goal. And I hope to see you tomorrow on Wednesday. We are doing a back fold card tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye-bye. can't stop it. Why can't I stop